Okay, thanks, Paz. Very nice to see you all here. Very nice to see new faces here. This is the fourth live session of this workshop. On the first one, we talked about word building concepts, like more architectural concepts, steps that we need to take to start word building. And on the second day, we talked about sketching our projects and making the blockouts of our projects. Starting to understand how the words are gonna be shaped, how we're gonna navigate inside of the words for different purposes, for architectures, for games, for education and training purposes. And on the third day, we started talking about some gamification features also, but mainly bringing the final 3ds, and then I showed some warehouses. If you're not necessarily very used to build your own 3D stuff, maybe you can find some free assets or purchase some assets on Sketchfab. We also showed Luma AI, the genie, where you can generate 3D using text prompts. And I also showed the 3D warehouse, which is it is more indicated for architecture people, because then in 3D warehouse you can find like real places in the world, like stadiums or like some urban blocks that really exist. And and then you download, if you don't pay for a 3D warehouse, you download the SketchUp file, and then you need to convert into GLB to upload inside of Anitya. Today, we're gonna be focusing on showing all of our components. Those are our components. Like when you open Anitya inside of the builder, this is what you see. I see that there are some new faces here. I don't know exactly how much you guys are already using Anitya, but this is our builder. We have this elements panel. It's everything that you have inside of your project. It's like the layers of Blender, of Photoshop. You have like everything that you organize it on your project. You have the inventory where you can find the components that we provide, but you can also find the files that the assets that you uploaded, like your own objects, images, videos, sounds, and then you can use it to build your experience. And on the right side in here, we have the properties panel, which is the panel where you're gonna customize the components or the assets that you are selecting at the moment. Like now, I am selecting this pop-up of the show hide, uh, com- and then you can see on the properties panel the 3D object, the components that they have inside. Um, so on the last session, we showed everything that you can import inside of Anitya. So we showed 3D objects, we showed some different images and different image setups, we showed some videos and different video setups, and we showed some audios and also the different audio setups. Basically, we have like global audio that plays equally for everyone, and we have 3D audio that plays depending on your position, the way that you're gonna receive like this audio file, the way that you're gonna listen to it. It matters if you are more turned to the right or left, so it will play more on the side that your camera is facing. Also the videos, having like different configurations, like showing the controls, how to play, setting up triggers, and the objects. The main difference of an object is like if it has an embedded animation or not. And now we're gonna show first those components here: embedded animated objects, show hide, move, rotate, and scale, and portals. And then I'm gonna show some more after that, but now I'm gonna focus on this one. This embedded animation object is actually very simple. We have this airplane, Brazilian first airplane ever, and you can see that when you upload a file like that, it's already gonna appear here this component called play embedded animation. It's already gonna appear on the properties. If your object don't have an animation, this won't even appear for you. And then in here you can select the animation. Sometimes you import an object that has more than one animation. Inside Blender, sometimes we make several animations for an object, and then when we import, you're gonna see this drop down menu here with all the animation that you can use. And in here you can set up the iterations, which means how many times it is gonna repeat the animations, but the animation, but now it's looped and it's autoplay. So it doesn't matter the iterations, it will continue playing forever and it will play on load. Autoplay is basically the same thing as play on load. Once you run the experience, it starts playing, and how it's loop, it never ends. If I don't want it to autoplay, if I want to set up like a trigger to make it start playing, I just need to uncheck that box here, and then it's gonna open this trigger menu. And the nice thing about the way that we are doing that inside of Anitya is that everything that you have the possibility to trigger has the same logic. So, like what we're trying to build here is this builder that is very intuitive, is very easy to use, that facilitates people's life. So, repeating this trigger logic for all the triggered possibilities inside of the components was a easy way for people to understand that once, and then they understand it for all. So the trigger logic is basically you can select any of those entities in here, any of those elements in here, to trigger this animation. Usually, actually, like usually, let me stop a little bit. Usually, I create a new entity. You can do it by right clicking inside of your object, because then it's gonna keep the same position of the object. So usually, I click a new entity, and then you can see that this new entity has the same position of the father object, and then you can move it outside if you want to, and you can use it as the trigger. Just dragging and dropping the new entity that you created inside of the trigger entity box. And if you want to have a visual information about it, you just need to check the visible collision. It only appears when you're selecting the triggered object. So now I'm gonna change the place where it is, and I'm gonna make it interactable. The difference between making or not interactable is like now we have this trigger area, which is this sphere here, and there are two ways that I can interact with it. If I don't check this interact key option, as soon as my avatar, as soon as my character touches the collision of this area, it's gonna trigger whatever I am triggering. But if you choose the interactable option, as soon as the avatar touches that area, enter that area, it will appear the F key to interact. Basically, you have the option to start the animation, like not only by your collision, but by pressing the letter F on the inside of the keyboard. And this you can change in here the trigger shape, the radius of the trigger shape if you want to make it wider. Also, if you want to change for a trigger box, you can also make it. But let's make it a sphere. I'm gonna keep this looping once I start it. You see that when you loop, you cannot change the iterations anymore. And in here, the delay is basically how long it will start the animation, and this is in seconds. So if I put 2, I will press the letter F, and 2 seconds after I did it, it will start the animation. I'm gonna run this experience, but not now. I'm gonna finish explaining those other ones, just to not have to run and come back, run and come back. This show height component, uh, it's in here. Like One nice thing, like another nice thing about anitya is you can attach components over components inside of a same asset. So like one object, you can attach an audio to it, you can attach a teleporter to it, you can attach, I don't know, a move, rotate, scale, or anything else. So this is the way that we build our gamification. So we have like this 3D object here, which is this pop-up. And if you want to create this gamification of showing or hiding this pop-up, we have this show hide component. Basically, all you need to do, I'm going to remove it. All you need to do is adding a new component. And then here you will search for show hide. We want to show this component, so by default, it's going to be hidden. And now I want this floor mark here to represent my trigger area, as you can see now. But this I'm gonna make it by collision. Like when my avatar touches this floor mark, it's gonna show this pop-up. Another component that we have that is to create actions. Like those components, they are all about creating actions. Another one that we have is the move, rotate, scale component. In here, we selected, like we created three different examples for each of these movement that we can create for each of these dynamic, transforming the position, transforming the scale, or transforming the rotation. But you can transform everything at once if you want. Like it's basically, let me select the scale one. We have this cell here, that's the object that we want to scale. And then in here you have the transform, and you have the move, rotate, scale component. To edit, it's basically the same thing. You just need to add a component, search for move, rotate, and scale. And then you can select two states. There is a state one. Those states, they work like keyframes. If you are using to Blender, Maya, or any other 3D software, or if you edit video, maybe you'll see it as keyframes. But in here we are calling state. I think it's easier to understand. And then you can see on the transform that is going to change the scale. On the state one, we have this .02, and on the state 2.25. And then you can change the easy type. The easy type is like if it's gonna the speed of the animation, because like before the easy type, you can change the duration. If I let this duration on 0, it's gonna instantly change from the first state to the second one. But when you select like a 3, 4, 5, then you're gonna see the path of this animation. And then you can change the easy type of this path. The easy type is like if it's gonna start faster and then slow down a little bit on the middle of the action, or if it's gonna start and end faster and only in the middle is gonna slow down, or if it's gonna start slow and then increase the speed while the animation is happening. And as you can see, the trigger logic is basically the same. You just need to select, like we have this trigger scale here. So you just need to drag and drop inside of the trigger entity box. If you want to see the collision, here it is. So every time now I select the cell, I will see the collider of the trigger. If you wanna choose to be interactable or not, it's also in here. Like you'll see that this is for everything. This is for audio, videos, animation, 3Ds, and okay. This is like doing basically the same thing with this globe, but the difference is that it's rotating the globe, like from the stage one to the stage two. You see there's a difference on the rotation here. And the other one is the move. We created this elevator. The stage one is on the ground, and the stage two is above the ground. up in the air. And the difference of the transform is on the position nodes in here. But I wanna make like this, I don't know, let me duplicate this rotate one. If I want to make everything different from the state one to the state two, changing the scale, the position, and the rotation, I think is already changing. Yeah, minus 180. I can do it. Now I just need to reset the trigger because it's another entity. And when I run this experience, you'll see that everything is gonna be changing when I enter the trigger, not only one of those aspects. In here we have a portal. The portal is basically a teleporter. Like it is a component. You can find it here on our smart elements, like teleportation here. And it's very easy to set up. Very easy to set up. Here is the portal. You basically need to select an entity or create a new entity. Like here we created one, and then oh wait, yeah, here we go. And then you need to position the entity where you want to, and this is gonna be your destiny. So like I'm gonna delete this and do it again. I just need to drag and drop the portal from our smart elements inside of the word like that. But I'm not gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this one that I already have. And then I create a new entity inside of it. I can select where I want this entity to take me, like in here. And then you see that the only property of the portal beside the transform is this target that is the destiny target. And then I just need to drag the new entity and drop in here. Usually I call it destiny because it facilitates me to understand like to organize my scene. So I'm gonna run this experience just to show you how it works, everything on the play mode. Okay, here I am inside of the world. If this is your first time like seeing Anitya in action, like we already have our character controller is embedded. You don't need to make changes on your character controller. The only thing changes your avatar, and in here we have all those options to walk around this table ASD like in games, and then you can lock your mouse with the right button to turn around your head. Space to jump, double jump if you want, shift to run. If you want to come back to the lobby, it's escape button. And we have this mini map. Yep, but I'm gonna hide it now. I think I fix it. Okay, so here we have the animated object that is gonna be looped. It we decided to make interactable. So now if you are like inside of that area that I showed on the beginning of the session, I press F and then the animation starts. And this is nice because you can actually set up lots of things to have the same interactable trigger. So I'm gonna show an example after these technical ones of a use case scenario of a e-commerce that we were building over this last week. This is the show height component. When I enter the trigger area, it's gonna show the pop-up that we selected. This is the move, rotate, and scale. As you can see, move, rotate. No, sorry. Scale, rotate, and now move. So it's very easy to create platform games or elevators, stuff like that. Usually the collision works fine. It depends on the speed actually. If you do like a very fast movement, then maybe the animation will not work perfectly. But like for easy movements like that, it's very cool. And this is the one that does everything: move, rotate, and scale. In here we have the portal that we just created, as you can see, the teleporter. And in here we can return to the beginning of the experience. Okay, and now let me show uh, a word where we are using those, some of those. Let me see how many we are. Oh, there are some nice people. Just need to wait for it to load. I don't think it's gonna take to. Oh, it's because I have two opens. This keeps happening. This is an issue of my computer. I'm not sure that this will happen to anyone, but when I have two words open, maybe I have this WebGL issue to render both. But I think that mainly in like it can work fine. I think this is something about my end here. But I know that Zima already started building something. He said before that he want to show to us today, which is great. I would love to see it in 10, 15 minutes. I will reach out to you, and I also want to know what you guys are building, what you've been doing, and how you're using anitya. This is a use case for like this e-commerce solution where we are using all of those components that I showed: the animated objects, the show height component, and also the move, rotate, and scale. So if you come to the products in here, like let me go to first person, you can interact to each of the products. And then we have this move, rotate, scale with 0 seconds because I want it to be instantly. And then the show height to the pricing and more infos like that. And in here we have this one, like one trigger now is triggering the show height components, the move, rotate, scale, and the play embedded animation for the case of this dress in here. So it increases the size, it changes the rotation, it plays the animation 4 times because it's the iterations that I choose, and it shows those the pricing and like the more infos. So this is just to show like usage of those elements, inside of a real project. And now I'm gonna show those other actions. I think this one. In here, there are those other components of anitya that you can use to make your space more interactable. Like we have those hyperlinks. It's literally possible to attach a link inside of those images. And then inside of any 3D object, actually, I think we need just to make some changes on the editor to make it work here. But you can add a link to open other tabs. So if you're building something that you need people to, I don't know, schedule a meeting with you, or you want people to see some information or some specific web page, then you can add the link to it and people can interact. In here, it's in here. Like, I don't know how much you guys can see those little spheres here. Those are like procedural generated particles. On the editor, I'm gonna show we can change a lot of the configurations of the settings of those particles. We can create very different effects with it, like rain, snow, or like fire, or other stuff. But it's like very nice to use as this visual effect. And here we have different water shaders. I'm gonna go to first person. This is more like still. This one is moving very slow. But this water shader is also already embedded inside of Anitya, so you don't need to bring your water from Blender, your still water from Blender. We have the water shader, this ocean shader with waves, wave speed, height, and controlling the color, the transparency, all that. The normal, as you can see, it's very different. The way that the light interact with this one and if with this one, so everything is editable inside of the editor mode. And this is our text mesh. The text mesh, like this is the text, is a 2D text. You don't have thickness, you don't have extrusion, and this is the text mesh and the different fonts that we have. So it's also nice that you don't need to bring like signs. Imagine that you're building like this festival, this web festival, and then you need to place signs, lots of different informations. And if you do it by bringing images or 3D objects, it's way heavier than using the text already inside of Anitya. This is the lighter way to do it. I'm gonna open inside of the editor now. For example, that e-commerce solution that I was showing, the 3D is from Sketchfab, and we remix it, change the textures, bake it all the lighting settings, and then upload it inside of Anitya. Sometimes it's way easier to do it than to start a project from scratch. So here we have the hyperlinks. Basically, the hyperlink is a component that you attach inside of the mesh or the whatever text that you want to, and in here you can copy the link to the web page that you want people to go, and in here you can also change the size of the area that is gonna work with your hover, the area that you will hover to enter the link. You can also make it open by trigger, like when you collide with something or if you press F, then it opens. Here we have the particles. Let me show everything that we can change. We can change the type of the base of the particle. We can change the amount, the size, the spread, the speed, lifetime. We can change the gravity, if it's gonna fall faster or not, or maybe you can make it turning up, but with some gravity, and then you create this movement of falling down. Here is the water shader. As you can see here, we can change the speed of the water. We can change the strength of the wave. I totally exaggerated now. Let me, yeah, you can change the strength of the wave like that. And the color, and this is the transparency, and the strength of this distortion, which is like the normal map of this mesh and how it will interact with the light. So have 0, -10, how it was, -100. You can see that now it's very, 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 very small, but I'm gonna keep it like it was. And here is the text mesh, I was explaining. Here you can change the size, you can change the text that you will write down, you can change the extrusion, and the position, of course, and the font. Here we have the examples of different fonts. I think that for now, those are the components that we have to show. We already showed the uploadables ones, like the media assets that we can upload. And I'd like to hear from you. I know that Brown Skinned Royalty, I think, already started some project on Anitya. I think that you had like a conversation with Pedro, right? And I know that Zima also already started using Anitya. So if you wanna ask to come to the stage, I would love to see those projects, and then we can take these 25 next minutes to talk about how you guys are using Anitya, the possibilities, and how your project is being built. So Zima, if you wanna come to stage, uh, nice.
Hi everyone, listen to me. Uh, let me share the my screen here. If I can. All right. So you guys are seeing it. Uh, you guys are hearing okay? All right. Uh, so what I'm trying to do here, it's a it's a art gallery, but I'm I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to do not only an art gallery, but I'm trying to input some storytelling on the scene itself. So I think that's the power of this type of tools, you know. And one difficult thing to do with a 3D scene is it's actually storytelling, because in a movie you can control what the audience is seeing it, and in a 3D environment, it, you don't have that. You don't have that control. So uh, anyone that is experiencing can see whatever they want. So the thing here that I'm trying to do is trying to guide in a kind of a story, and putting the art on the story. So I'm doing an art gallery that's it's placed on an alien planet with this pyramid here. So I'm trying to make like a like a very immersive alien planet. And my intention is to try to put, before showing the art, put the user on a story. So I'm right now I'm just doing the scenario. I'm starting to play with objects now. I'm just trying to see what I can do with lightning here. So because one thing that helps in storytelling in a 3D environment, it's lighting. Because if you leave a place dark and now their place lighted, you're going to tell your audience that you wanna there's something there. So if everything it's kind of no lights and rocks and no life, and then you look and you see lights and you see like this shape pyramid, with a composition going like a cradle. I just use the terrain to do the composition here to highlight the pyramid, also the Milky Way of the sky is kind of pointing towards the pyramid. If you look at here, that's one of the exits, the paths towards the pyramid. So you can see that it kinds of frames, in just like an illustration or in a movie composition, but you just guide your audience to go whatever you want with lightning and in the terrain shape and all that. So that's one thing that I was very interested about Anitya. It's how can I go, how far can I go with lightning and texture and all that. So if I just turn off the lightning, you see that it's kind of boring. And when you go with a lights on, and then you can you can set a mood. And so I'm not doing stuff with objects right now. I'm just exploring uh, the lightning and all, and the water. The water thing is very cool because it's a lot of work to put water on Unity and get it right, or on Blender, and then you go and you export it to whatever platform, and it just doesn't go how you expect it. So when you put water already in the final stage of the process, you can see all work together is way better. I'm going to put up some lightning inside the water after you see what happens. So I like the reflexes, and this is very cool. And so I put it out here. Here's the gallery itself. I only put out one work of art here. This is one drawing that I make. I'm making in VR also, and this is a photo of a drawing actually, of an illustration. And then I'm going to put all the other ones here in this gallery. The only object that I put it here is like this weird DNA thing that I tried to make on. It's not the best DNA of the world, but it's one that was generated with AI. Just trying to see how it behaves. When we put AI generated stuff here, just to see how it works. Also, the textures here, all the textures, I made it on AI, on Mid Journey. So it's pretty much it. The skybox is also made on AI. That's thing. I have zero training in 3D, zero training in Blender, in Unity. Just you know.
But you did lots of stuff. It's so nice. Congrats.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. But I think this is the true power of this type of solutions, because I don't have any training on 3D. I just did it on Gravity Sketch, which is not the best way of doing 3D. I know that, especially for textures, I suffered a lot because I don't really know. I don't really uh, mastered how to put textures on Blender, so I have to end up doing it on Gravity Sketch, and then I know how to adapt to put some roughness, metallic effects on Blender, but that's it. And then
Yeah,
I just put it on here.
I can help
So
you if you wanna
uh,
schedule some time. We could open Blender. I like in Blender. I know the ways.
oh,
Like,
nice, that would be awesome. But
yeah,
it's even without knowing it, I can achieve some result. That's the thing that I liked about Anitya. And and I'm looking forward to see. how this translates to VR. I know that VR it's a thing that is on your roadmap, and I'm that's the my interesting about that. It's how can I do that on VR, because I know that all the lightning on VR in the state that we are now, I don't know if can it can hold it, but I'm looking forward to, you know, to see that kind of lightning effects and all that stuff in VR.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, like on VR, the performance might have some cost on
yeah,
all those lights. I imagine that you're using like more than 10 lights on the scene,
yeah,
10. But our back end is based on Godot engine, the game engine. And usually for lightning, Godot is very light, like on performance. So way
nice.
lighter than Unity, Unreal, even like Blender, whatever. So I think you won't have the like too much issues. Maybe you just need to make some choices. Um, and we want in the future, like in the future, to implement somehow a way that when the person saves the experience, it bakes the light for them. So the
That's
light will be baked on the textures, and it will be rendering lots of lights together, but still having the visual effect that you want. Brown Skinned Royalty sent some questions for you on the chat, so I invited her to the stage. Feel free to open your mic. Would be lovely to.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Um, Thanks for inviting me up, and it's been fun exploring everything. My question was about the tech. How did they make the textures and the skybox? But actually, like a more broader question was because obviously, just like the speaker before Zima, I'm not like trained in any VR, all this 3D experience. So I've been utilizing a lot of AI tools. So I wanted to know if it's possible to have people contribute to make like a document of like tools that they use and why. So for example, like I had shared that I was using Meshy, and then you guys shared the Animate Anything. Those are like similar tools for creating like a 3D like a person. So I think that would be a cool document that we can contribute to. So for newbies like me. Thank you.
So for real, this is a very good idea. Maybe we can ask Paz or Billy that are taking care of Discord to create this channel where we only share tools that we use to build. I think it's a very nice idea and it can be very helpful. You talking about like how even when you ask me Journey to create seamless textures, usually it doesn't come seamless. I think one thing that you can do is to edit the image to make it seamless, like on an image editor. But I understand that is not the best solution. But there are some websites with free textures, and if you are up to, I know that maybe it's too much, like how you don't have intimacy with 3D, but if you like there are some 3D softwares like Blender where they have like add-ons to get 3D models, skyboxes, textures. Like in Blender, we have the Blender kit, and there are lots of free textures to use, free skyboxes to use. Mainly, uh, almost all the skyboxes that we have inside of Anitya comes from Blender kit, and but there are some AI tools. I forgot the name now. Like there is a very nice AI tool to create skyboxes. Uh, I wish Kelso was here. Maybe Miguel, if you remember Miguel, you can send on the chat. But I think Zima created his skybox with AI or not.
Yeah, I use Rosebud AI. It's rosebud.ai skyboxes. It's very cool. I'm going to send you guys the link. It's
Yeah,
free. and it pretty much does the
I
job.
like this idea of having a place here on Discord for us to share these facilities, like other tools like Sketchfab, 3D Warehouse, like AI tools, Genie, AIs for, and then we can, I don't know, try to group it. I'm not sure how is the best way to do it, but I like a lot the idea. I think it can be very helpful for our the community. Brown Skinned Royalty, do you want to show maybe something that you've been working on? Or, oh, look, Miguel just sent this AI that you used on the chat. Oh, no, Zima sent. Nice. I didn't know that one actually. I use another one, the one that I use. Let me see if I can find it here. Uh,
I just shared one also that I was playing with like months ago, but I think they changed a little bit, so it's like it's not free anymore. But
uh,
that one was pretty good.
that's the one that I was searching for. I used it
Yeah, that
one.
one was good.
It's not free anymore, this one. Now it's paid.
Yeah, it's before I think you could download like a JPEG, but I think they have more stuff blocked off, but I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah, and like here, one thing that we want to do in the future is to gather these APIs of other tools and try to integrate inside of Anitya. The ideal world would be for people to do everything from there, to not necessarily need to search for other stuff like outside. But yeah, this has like um, commercial things to resolve before. But yeah, this is like a very nice tool. It's bad that now it's not free anymore. But Zima sent this other one, Rosebud. I think it seems very nice and it seems very like compelling. His skybox was very realistic for me. So I think maybe you can use it. And if you wanna see some 3D texture websites, I can send it to you. Uh, we can definitely do it. So like Zima is creating his world with this art gallery purpose, and I would like to hear the purpose of your creations also, Brown Skin.
Okay. So the purpose of mine was for a well, I'm just exploring it first of all. But my first idea was for a math story that I had wrote for my students last year, and I kind of wanted to bring it to life somehow. So I thought that this would be a cool tool because
Yeah.
there's another program for math that does something like but at a much larger scale. And but they didn't have anything for this particular subject. But that program is called it's Prisms, and it's like really big for math, and it's on like the Oculus and stuff. And so I wanted to create like my own version with my own story for the students.
All right. No, I remember we tried to get together some time ago, right? You scheduled a meeting with me.
Yes, and my schedule was just all wonky at the moment.
Yeah. Let's do it. Like schedule the meeting again, and like I can try to help you building it. Like for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, at least like showing some paths, like how to make NPC conversations, like dialogues, and then you can try to like I can show some some of our tools in there and what can we do with the assets that we have, and then after you learn at once you can feel free to, and also feel free to make questions. I'm here all day like on Discord. And Zima, how you thinking about doing this storytelling? You already have some idea?
Not a clue yet. I kind of have something going on, but I'm still working on this on the scene. This is not the definite shape I'm going to change maybe the scale. I want to make it a little bigger. So and yeah, but I kind of thinking about it, just progressing with some NPCs to guide the player through to the pyramid, and the thing is, I wanted to integrate the art with the storytelling and make people trying to discover bit by bit the arts and the stuff, not just going someplace and here's all the art or just look at it. I want to kind of make it like a discovery thing, you know
Have you ever played Stray, the cat game that you are a cat inside of this post-apocalyptic crazy world? It's very nice because you have the script, but mainly you know what you need to do by talking to the NPCs, and they don't give you the answers, but they talk. I don't know. You go to an NPC that is in the middle of the street called Bob, and then Bob says, "Oh, I don't know, tananana, Marcos, não sei o que lá." And then you need to go to Marcos to figure it out something, but you don't even know who Marcos is, so you need to talk to lots of NPCs on the way, and then you start getting to know the environment. There are three main environments that you start getting to know by talking to the people that are in there. It's very nice game, and I think it could be something like you can maybe discover this art stuff while you're walking around. Like as you said, you cannot guide people to do exactly like a very straight storyline, so maybe it's nice to like one NPC talks about another NPC that you only find this other NPC in the future, and you say, "Oh, it, the other character talking about it like two characters before."
yeah.
But there are
Yeah,
some very nice ways to guide people on storytelling. Actually,
yeah, I think I'm exploring right now the visual guidelines, and because when, for instance, I have control of the skybox rotation here, so I can put it the Milky Way right aligned with the pyramid, so I
yeah,
can make more, more attractive visually. So this kind of controls yeah, the mood of the scene. I can set it uh, only with the skybox, because when I change the skybox, all the reflective surface change as well, and making all in one color. So I think this is a huge part of the storytelling. How, if I have control visually of the scene, if I can change the shade of, not change, but just adjust the shades of some texture to get more harmonized with the rest of it. This is already storytelling, you
yeah,
know.
it's true. It's
So
true. It's true. I'd like to see this project continuing. Like, send me the link maybe, and then I can enter there next week, and then see the progress. And if you need help, also to create also those dialogues. There is this very nice tool that we use for AI voice called 11 Labs. This is nice for you also to know, brown skin royalty. Like, this is a very nice tool to create a speech from text, and very compelling. We
Yeah,
can
I had dropped it in earlier because I've played with some projects.
nice. And I don't know, I'm having issues with my camera. Try to turn on here, but maybe we can wrap it up for today. Let me see if now it's gonna work.
oh, I have one question.
Here. Fala, Dani.
No, I was just going to say that I love the idea about the channel of references. We already aligned. We're going to create this channel. Thank you so much for the idea, and
Very
thank
nice
you also
idea.
for like showing what we are building, your intentions. This is great for us. This is exactly what we need. Like hear feedback, and it's great to see like people using the platform. So just want to thank and say that we're creating the channel. Thank you.
But someone has said that has a question
I
or
think
Yeah,
it's
not.
Zima.
yeah.
Uh, Go
Uh,
ahead.
I saw that that competition that you guys started with the scenes. It's not clear for me how can we participate it if the scene is already on the platform we are already participating or something like that. How does go?
I think you need to do Paz. Do you wanna? No, Paz. I think is recording, but I think you need to kind of subscribe to participate. I confess that I didn't do my
Yeah.
own participation.
No, no, no. I can explain. Thank you for the question, Zima. So yeah, you need just to submit. There is a link. We will share the link again in the official channel. But like once you submit, you are already participating. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
it.
only.
Okay, you guys seen the link then?
Yeah, we will send the link.
All right.
Also, there is if you go to our Discord, there's a contest tab. If you click on the contest tab, you'll see about and prizes. So there we have all the details, the dates, but I can also send on the general chat again, just for it to be there. No problem at all.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Zima, so much for sharing your project. Thank you, Brown Skin and Royalty, to participate and also share knowledge. And I'm feeling very happy to have you all here, and let's continue this conversation. Like, you can reach out to me. I'm all day here on Discord. There is the link to schedule a meeting directly to me, and then we can work on those words if you guys want help. I think it's fine for us to wrap it up here. I don't know if I need someone to make a disclosure, but this is my disclosure. Thanks everyone that is here. It's been a very nice 4 sessions workshops. I think we walked through the app. I don't think that we missed anything. So now it's like up to you to keep creating and to keep this community alive also. So thanks a lot. See you all.